Hello everyone, my name is Shobna Menon and this is the fifth installment that I shall be providing on the basics of Indian polity. Now in my previous lecture I had given you a brief understanding on the various additions that have taken place in the parts and schedules of the constitution. Right, 4 new parts have been added and 1 repealed, 4 new schedules have been added. You can access the information in my previous lecture part 4. Now, today we are going to talk about the sources of the Indian Constitution. You may be well aware of the fact that the Indian Constitution is the lengthiest written constitution in the world, right? A lot of reasons have been ascribed to why it is so lengthy. One of the fundamental reasons is some of the features of the Indian Constitution has been borrowed from different countries. So today we are going to look at what have we borrowed and from whom. We are looking at around 10 to 11 countries, so it will be difficult for me to cover all the features from all the countries in one lecture. So I've decided to split up this lecture into say 2 or 3 parts. I'll try to make it under 2. Let's see. Okay, so today we are going to focus on a couple of countries. The first country that I'm going to focus on is a country that we have had the longest and the most tiring relationship with. We are talking about the United Kingdom. Okay, so the first feature that springs to one's mind when we are talking about the United Kingdom is the parliamentary system. Okay, so we have borrowed the parliamentary system from the UK. It is called the Westminster system, parliamentary system, and there's a feature we have borrowed from the UK. Another one that we have borrowed is bicameralism. Bicameralism means an upper house and a lower house. We know that our parliament has one, and even 7 out of state legislatures have an upper and a lower house, right? We have also borrowed the post of the speaker, Speaker of Vidhan Sabha or Lok Sabha. They're almost similar, and they are also sharing similarities with the Speaker of the UK Parliament. Of course, there is one essential difference, that is that the Speaker of the UK Parliament has to resign from his political affiliations before taking on the post, whereas in India that is not necessary. You are observing that the Speaker of the Lok Sabha is still affiliated to the political party. He doesn't need to resign before taking on the post of the speaker, right? There are other essential differences, but then this is the main one. We have also borrowed the feature first past the post system. Now, what is the first past the post system? Basically, it is in short direct elections. Okay, direct elections are seen in the Lok Sabha and the Vidhan Sabha elections. Basically, a candidate winning the highest number of votes wins. This is the essence of the first past the post system. Very complicated term, but the meaning is extremely simple. Okay, then we talk about the rule of law, which is another feature that has been borrowed from the UK. Rule of law essentially states that everyone is equal in the eyes of law, irrespective of the race, caste, creed, gender, status, etc. Okay, the rule of law was a principle propounded by the political theorist A.V. Dicey. You must remember his name, and we'll go into rule of law in slight detail in later of our lectures. Okay, but please remember, rule of law has been borrowed from the UK. We have also borrowed the system of cabinet from the UK. Cabinet comprises of the Prime Minister and the ministers holding the most essential portfolios such as home, defense, foreign affairs, etc. Okay, so the cabinet system borrowed again from the UK. And then lastly, we have borrowed the concept of single citizenship. Single citizenship is a concept where the center grants you the citizenship status. This is much different from what we see in the United States of America, where the concept of dual citizenship exists, where a citizen is granted both status by the state as well as the federal authorities. In India, that is not so. We follow the concept of single citizenship. You cannot see any person saying that I am a citizen of Himachal Pradesh or Mizoram. No, all of us are Indian citizens, and the status is granted by the center, right? So to recapitulate, what have we borrowed from the UK? We have borrowed this parliamentary system, we have borrowed bicameralism, speaker, first past the post system, rule of law, cabinet, and single citizenship. So in all, 7 features, right? Let's move on to the other country. Let's talk about the United States of America. Okay, a lot of important features borrowed from the US. The first of which, the most important one of which, is the fundamental rights. Okay, so the fundamental rights, a very important feature borrowed from the US. Of course, another one that is borrowed is the post of vice president. Okay, now again, the president and the vice presidents of India and US have a lot of similarities and dissimilarities. The similarities that both of them have are that both of them are heads of their respective upper houses. So the vice president in India is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and the vice president in the United States is the chairman of the Senate. The Senate is the upper house in the Congress, right? So that is the similarity they share. However, the dissimilarity that they share is that in case if the Indian president is no more in office, the vice president discharges the duties of the president, or he will become the acting president for a temporary period of time until a new president is elected. However, in the United States, in case the president is no more in office, the vice president shall take over the office and become the president of the United States and serve the remainder of the term. Okay. Please also note that the tenure of both the president and vice president of presidents of India is that of 5 years, and the tenure of the vice president and the president of the United States is that of 4 years. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Let's talk about the preamble. The preamble is also another feature that has been borrowed from the US. The preamble is a part of the Constitution, but it can never be amended. It is non-justiciable in nature. That is, it can never be enforced in court of law. Talking about another feature that we have borrowed from the US, it is the power of judicial review. That is the power of the courts to question laws passed by the legislature and implemented by the executive. I have already described this when I was explaining the Indian judiciary. So the power of judicial review is the ability of the courts to question laws passed by the legislature, right? And then of course another feature that has been borrowed from the US is the PIL, public interest litigation, right? Public interest litigation is basically a very cost-effective way of seeking justice, subject to certain conditions. Basically, it should affect the public by and large. And PIL is under the direct jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. More on that later, but as of now, all you need to remember is PIL has been borrowed from the United States. Okay, another thing that has been borrowed from the United States is the impeachment of President of India and removal of High Court and Supreme Court judges. Now, please bear in mind that the word impeachment is exclusively used for the President of India. So no other official figure, whether mentioned in the Constitution or not mentioned in the Constitution, no official figure is impeached except the President of India. All the others are removed. Okay, so the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court are not impeached. Many have this habit. Many students have this habit of using the word impeachment for judges of High Court and Supreme Court. They are not impeached. They are removed. The word impeachment is exclusively used for the President of India, right? And removal of High Court and Supreme Court judges and impeachment of the President are the features we have borrowed from the United States. Okay, and then of course we are talking about the due process of law. Well, due process of law is a concept that I can explain only if I talk about another feature that we borrowed from Japan. So you'll have to wait on that because due process of law is a concept that I can explain only when I get to Japan. Okay, so there you go. These are the basic features that we have borrowed from the United Kingdom and the United States. More to come in the next lecture. Till then, thank you so much.